about myself and about that story. And again, I ask you to at least not take a vote on firing Pat Patterson today. Thank y'all.
Okay, thank you. That was the last one we had for this item 17. I will tell you, under advice of outside counsel, I will not make any comment about any reasons for termination. I hired Pat a number of years ago based on the recommendation of a couple of good friends that I hope they're still friends of mine. But and Pat had, in a lot of ways, has done some very good things, and I was aware of that. But this is a hard decision for me, and ultimately I had to make that. I did what I felt like I had to do and did it. And so at this point now, it will be the Commissioner's Court that will either affirm my decision to terminate, and I did not take that lightly, but my decision to terminate, or deny. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and ask for a vote on this, and we'll see how that goes.
Can we vote on a non-agenda item?
This is an agenda item, personnel action?
Okay.
A and B.
Yeah, it's an agenda item.
Okay.
Okay, so number 17 is an agenda item, personnel action. We've got a motion and a second. We're gonna do a raised hand. All in favor of personnel action, number 17, which includes termination of Alfred Pat Patterson, raise your right hand. Opposed? Okay, so motion passes. 3-2.
Is there a way to say anything else that will change this?
No, that,
I just,
okay. Motion passes. Next item is,
Say goodbye.
You will find no other VSO like none. None.
next item is payment of claims.
It's gonna be replaced.
Payment of claims to be paid by Brazos County, claim number 8122169 through claim number 8122342, and claim number 9007520, and claim number 9007581.
Move approval.
Second. Motion made, seconded, discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 19 is the acknowledgement of the FY 22-23 budget to actuals by fund as of May 10th, 2023, and acknowledgement of FY 2022-23 contingency budget to actuals as of May the 10th, 2023. And number 20 is Juvenile Director's Report on Detention Population. Is Linda here?
I don't think so.
I know, I've got the report here. Juveniles in detention is 41, males 31 and 10 females, and there are 28 juveniles on electronic monitors. The next item is Sheriff's Report on inmate population. Sheriff.
Judge, Commissioners, 709 today, 597 men, 112 women, 60 people on monitoring.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you, Sheriff. Number 22 is announcement of interest items and possible agenda topics.
yeah, as I mentioned before, I would like to see on our next agenda a resolution in support of establishing a veterans treatment court and mental health treatment court in Brazos County.
I'd just like to ask, Commissioner, why would we do a resolution when we don't know what the judges and the prosecutors are going to come up with? I mean, let them do their work and then come back to us and we'll approve it.
Well, I don't think that this would preclude that. I think that what it would do is it would establish a I think it's important that we do so, that we establish from the Commissioner's Court a directive to whoever that we are in support of it. This is not about the details, but we've had a lot of people involved in a committee. They've made a recommendation to us, and
Well,
the
we don't need
recommendation to
have
come back to
a
us.
discussion. This is not an agenda item, so we
Okay,
don't need
well,
a discussion.
you allowed the question and the discussion item, so.
Well, we'll cut it off right now. Number 23 is call for citizens' input and/or concerns. Mike Sutherland.
Thank you, Judge and Commissioners. I spoke last because I wanted to hear what y'all had to say about Pat Patterson, but in the short run, on the Veterans Court, I think you need an advocate for that. It sounds like y'all want to do it, so you need to let the judges know that you're willing to do it and you're willing to fund it, because they can say, we'd love to do it, but there's no funds. So I think you need to take that problem out of the air and let them know you support. I think that's a great idea that Steve has. And thank you for going through the process and looking into it, because I think both of them are needed, veterans and the mental health, both of them are needed. And the second thing, I'm not really keen on revealing this, but I think it's necessary in the case of Pat Patterson. I think every process has an appeal process, and I think you can consider what the veterans spoke here about as an appeal for Pat Patterson to be reconsidered. That's a process throughout the world and all except maybe some of the communist countries. But anyway, it's a very viable thing. And in my case, I think the numbers are important. And then I served in Vietnam in '69, all '69, a little bit of '70. Flew 900 combat hours. And I was exposed to Agent Orange, and all of my diseases that I'll talk about are related to Agent Orange. None of this stuff is in my family. And in 2011, I had quadruple bypass and a pacemaker installed. And at that time, I went to the people that were doing veterans assistance about disability, and I got 10% and my heart condition is deadly. If I don't have the pacemaker in there, I can't live without it. And that was from Agent Orange. So then I worked on it for about 10 years, went to several different people because other guys told me that they got more than that for the condition I had. And so finally, I knew Pat Patterson from years ago, but he finally came to be a service officer here. So somebody said, you need to go talk to him. So I went to talk to him, and he did what all these other people are talking about putting the paperwork in and whatever it took. And I went from 10% disability to 260% disability. 260 because of the issues I had with my health and the stuff that he identified. And of course you don't get paid for more than 100, but still you have that much problems. And so I'm still fighting it with cancer and all this stuff, but it seems like it's under control, especially with the help I'm getting from everybody. And the other, so that's 10 to 260. That's a significant number. And then the other thing, I think in this process, because it's so complicated, and you have to have somebody like him that pursues it to the end, because the VA will back you off easily. They'll put you into so many tunnels and you get lost in the process, but he doesn't allow that to happen. He keeps it going for you. And the other aspect of this is in terms of economic, I hate to say this, but in terms of an economic issue, a 100% veteran gets about $3,500 a month income. That's about, what, $35,000 a year? That's worth about, my estimate, that's worth about $90 million a year for veterans on disability that he maintains, that he keeps going. I mean, there's other people helping him, but he has a real big role in it. I don't know, there's thousands of people he's helped, and I think, please reconsider this. There's lots of things that can be done. Suspend him. No, I wouldn't suspend him because he's got too much work to do, but let her reprimand, put him under another supervisor. There's lots of things to do, but please consider this as an appeal. So don't think that there's some kind of mistake made. Just, this is an appeal for another consideration. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Mike. Lonnie Masterson.
Commissioners, I just want to speak about Veterans Treatment Court a little. When Patrick Bacha and I first started on this journey, I mean, it's been a couple of years ago now, you know, a lot of people said we wouldn't even make it this far. We searched. I had a good friend of mine, Guy Betancourt, put me in contact with former Commissioner Ford. You know, he got us in, started talking to us, started listening to us, kind of advised us on how to talk to y'all and start that process, and we did. You know, we encountered a lot of obstacles, some in unforeseen places, in the form of a veteran service officer that was against it, and gave us a list of why he was against it. That was a curveball we did not expect to have, so it kind of delayed the process to this point. Luckily, we got a Miss Tiffany Love on board when I was searching for a counselor to help with Veterans Treatment Court, because we need to have a counselor. I also wanted to point out that a veteran has to be service-connected for his disability to be admitted into Veterans Treatment Court, and that certification for that disability enables him to have mental health treatment. So that eliminates the one problem with the Veterans Treatment Court that they were talking about earlier. They will have access to mental health care, whether it's telehealth, counseling, or special groups that are set aside just for justice-involved veterans. You know, me and Patrick, Tiffany Love, Commissioner Ford, Commissioner Alders, the other commissioners that we met with, you know, we were doing this, we were going through it, we were getting the facts, presenting them, going back and forth. You know, Mr. Mike Sutherland came on board. He helped us with some of the political avenues of it, guided us through that. You know, I just want to say I'm very thankful for how far we've come. I really hope that it gets approved, because it is needed. I mean, I just got called by CIT officers yesterday for a veteran in crisis that I met with, and talked him off the ledge, put him in my peer group, got him an emergency meeting at the VA for counseling. You know, this is stuff we need. It's needed, and there's funding for it. General Nettles did an amazing job with his committee. You know, we greatly appreciate that. I just want to thank y'all. You know, that this has been a rough journey for Patrick Bacha and I, and I'm sure the community as a whole, but it was for something great and for something that is bigger than ourselves. So thank y'all.
Thank you. Thank you, Lonnie. All right, that was the last one. Nothing else. We'll adjourn. Thank you.